With all the serums, supplements, sprays, and consumables targeted to help you sleep, it's no surprise that more often than not, I hear and read statements like, it worked for a little bit and then not at all, or I tried it, doesn't work. What if I told you that you can often get things you can eat or drink to help you sleep for much, much cheaper, and they work really consistently? What if those things not only helped with sleep, but with your immune system, your mood, your energy? Today's guest, Touissant Stewart, is going to help me help you identify these foods and how to incorporate them into your daily life with ease. Sip the tea in this episode of The Why Behind Your Z's. Welcome to the Why Behind Your Z's podcast, the show that helps you maximize your sleep one night at a time. Brought to you by sleepyoudeserve.com. Welcome to another episode of The Why Behind Your Z's. I am your host, Paul Bright, certified sleep science coach and United States Air Force veteran. Today's guest is a certified expert in, well, too many things for me to rattle off, so I'll let him tell it.
I am a holistic health and wellness practitioner. I specialize in meditation, nervous system regulation work, whole food plant-based nutrition, body weight strength training, yogic flexibility, and I help people develop a holistic health and wellness daily regimen so they can unleash the best version of themselves in this lifetime. I also am an author of Plant-Based 101, Whole Food, Whole You.
Nice.
And I also teach people how to embody in my whole food plant-based coaching group coaching program, that inner herbivore, that person within them that knows how to eat well, that knows how to eat to live and not just live to eat, and it's really just more becoming a vibrational match to this all-knowing, all-witnessing self that knows exactly what it needs. And I teach people how to develop a completely different relationship to whole food.
That's
So these are my two main coaching containers, along with, my book as well. And just trying to serve people the health and wellness that they need so that way they can live a preventative lifestyle and have a preventative approach to health, as opposed to just responding to a crisis and then being forced to take care of themselves. I got 3 kids, two small children, so I kind of started over. One of my kids, my oldest, just graduated from high school, but got 2 small children, I'm married, got 2 cats, and I just love what I do, and I do what I love, man. And so
often we attack sleep and try to do something about it right before we go to bed, when, like your holistic approach, it's really more of an all-day thing and a multifaceted thing. And that's what I use when I coach my clients. My big assessment goes through their life, all the areas they're exposed to, and nutrition often gets overlooked as far as how it plays into sleep.
Oh man.
And that's why I wanted you here, because I can
We could talk a lot about that.
Oh yeah, I can rattle off. Oh yeah, magnesium, vitamin D, the B vitamins, all those help with sleep. But I wanted to do my audience, my Why Behind Your Z's audience, better than that. I wanted to get deeper and talk more in depth about food and actual nutrition that contains all this, so that people can go a step beyond. Because when you can go a step beyond and focus inwardly like you do with all the things that you do, you start making more positive and long lasting changes. So
Absolutely. I mean, just to kind of start the addressing of this, really this multifaceted subject around sleep health. Um, when it comes to diet and sleep, one of the things that I feel like people need to recognize right off the bat is that the standard American dietary lifestyle, whether it be omnivore or completely carnivore, processed foods, saturated fats, Frankenstein foods, laboratory project foods, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
plastic bag foods devoid of fiber, devoid of digestive enzymes. All of this food triggers the sympathetic nervous system.
Yes.
And you understand, I'm sure, as a sleep coach, as
Oh
a,
yeah.
a professional therapist, cortisol is one of the main hormones that's produced within the sympathetic nervous system. And this is going to dysregulate your nervous system.
Yeah.
It's going to throw you off of homeostasis. And ultimately, you're going to have to answer for that when it comes to rest and
Yeah.
deep sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I went on this vegetarian journey in like 96, man. you know,
Wow, you started way
now I'm
back. Yeah.
completely whole food plant based, but I recognize that when you follow your digestive cycles, like what I was just talking about, when it comes to, you have three digestive phases within your digestive cycle. All human beings have this.
I knew why eating before bedtime wasn't the best for your sleep, but I didn't know the mechanisms of digestion worked all the way up to bedtime.
The first one is the elimination phase, right? Your body, when you wake up in the morning, your body is trying to eliminate all of the food from the prior day, right? And so you want to work with this elimination and not against it. So you
Yeah.
focus more on water and fruits in the morning, more
Okay. So
eliminative
water and fruit
food.
in the morning. Okay.
Right, water and fruit, and if you can, squeeze lemon or lime in that water because that is
Yes.
going to jumpstart the detoxification of your liver and kidneys.
You know what? I was doing that for a few weeks because
Mhm.
my mom does that all the time, and I was doing that. I was, 32-ounce mason jar of water, and I'd squeeze some lemon in there.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed, I felt like I was getting better hydration that way too.
It actually cleanses you out more. It's getting those electrolytes in you. It's a very astringent, so it's helping get things off of your gut lining, and it's of course supporting the detoxification of your liver and your kidneys, which they do most of their detoxification during the morning time of
Yes.
elimination phase.
Right.
And
Right.
so with that, if you can do that in the morning as well, that would be awesome. With the fruits, be great. And then from 12 to 8 is our ingestion phase. That's when we want to eat our dense proteins,
Right.
plant-based if possible, whole food plant-based if possible, because whole food triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest portion. You're not
Yes.
going to trigger your inflammatory. You're not going to trigger inflammation, right? You have the dietary fiber, you have the enzymes in whole food, right? And so if you can focus on whole food, healthy fats like chia seeds, flax seeds, avocados, fruits, vegetables, herbs, leafy greens, legumes, healthy grains like quinoa,
Right.
maybe some brown rice, some wild rice, a lot of spices,
Yeah.
like turmeric,
Yeah.
cayenne pepper, stuff like that. If you can do that for the majority of your ingestion phase, right? As well as get your water in there, and then when you get to when you get to the absorption phase, this is the phase where you begin to close the door on your digestion when it comes to solid food. And so by 8 o'clock, you're sipping on some non-sweetened herbal tea, no caffeine, right? Something that's going to cool your digestive system, maybe some ginger tea, maybe some cacao,
Yeah.
because it has so much magnesium. It's going to relax your muscles. Um, and then if you go to bed about 10:30, you've allowed yourself 2.5 hours of digestion
Yes.
of potentially from your food, so that way your digestion system is is not going to disrupt your sleep, because
Absolutely.
food being digested will disrupt your sleep, especially if you eat right before you go to bed. You
Yeah.
might as well get ready to use the bathroom
Yep.
and get
That's going to
ready to get
interrupt everything doing
going to
that too.
interrupt everything.
Yeah.
So
Touissant and I discuss how a plant based diet gives you the best sleep supporting nutrients. And I talk about how my dietary changes after the military helped me get better sleep. And no, I didn't go vegan.
the whole food plant-based diet and lifestyle is has so many advantages, and one of them is that it triggers the parasympathetic, the rest and
Yeah.
digest. So
Right.
yeah.
And everything you say, like we didn't have a pre-conversation about this, which is amazing. The easier it is for your body to process, and all that's going to build all the things that are going to help you with everything to include sleep. So,
Well, absolutely. I mean, when you think about, you said clean. I like that term clean because, you know, if you look at the meat, right? When you look at like flesh has no dietary fiber. It is oftentimes coming from slaughterhouses, right? Or this industrial fishing where they just throw a 50-foot by 50-foot net and just take everything, and they take the whole ecosystem,
mhm.
no selective fishing, just take everything within this radius, or whatever, right? And so you're getting things that have been completely damaged and stressed out and all of this stuff. And so all of this trauma is getting into the flesh, and you take that stuff in your body,
Right.
but also that protein is not necessarily a primary source of protein. It's actually a secondary source of protein, because those fish and those cows, they get all their protein from
Plants.
primarily plants.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to get the primary source,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this is not to make anybody who is omnivore or carnivore. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just giving you science
Right.
so you can begin to work with your nature as an herbivore, because human beings scientifically were anatomically created to consume plants. It's just a biological fact.
Yep.
We have the same ratio of digestive tract compared to our body length that gorillas have, that cows have, that giraffes have, because we all eat plants. And if you look at the digestive systems of all omnivores, they have, and their ratio to their length of their body, it's the same ratio. It is what it, but I prove it like 7 different ways in my book that we're actually anatomically created to consume plants. It's in the research, it's in the science.
Yeah.
But that's still, we still have eaten meat. I've eaten meat growing up, so I mean, we can
Yeah.
still digest it. It might take a few days,
It might take a little longer.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then just to hit this one point, when you
Yeah.
talk about eating food at night and how your body is on idle, I love that metaphor. And this is the type of stuff that can cause IBS, and this is the stuff that can cause gastric reflux, is because your body is producing all of this acid to try to break this food down, and you're sleeping in a horizontal way, yet you're not. So literally the acid is kind of beginning to roll over and begin to get in places that it's not supposed to get
Yeah.
into, and you're digesting stuff in a horizontal state, which can cause complications with your digestive tract, your digestive system, and then IBS and gastric
Right.
reflux come in. So you got to be careful eating at night.
What I've learned is when you're in that deep sleep, the only things that are really, really active are like your lungs and
Hmm.
your eyes
Hmm.
for whatever reason. Even your heart
Hmm.
rate is slowed down. Almost
Hmm.
every system is slowed down because it's waiting for that digestive system to finish to create what it needs to create for those oxygen cells to
Hmm.
go through your body and give you rest and repair and build up the immune system. It's waiting to
Absolutely.
do all that based off of everything that you ate. But
Absolutely.
if you are forcing your body to digest food while you're sleeping, you've
Oh,
awakened another system, and so now you're not really asleep. So
yep.
it's like saying you okay, I shut my car off when I put it in the garage, but you actually have it on idle. It's not really shut off. You've got
Ah,
it on idle, and then maybe somebody's hitting the gas pedal once in a while. You're
absolutely.
just filling
Yeah.
it up, and you're burning gas. You're doing all the things instead of letting it actually cool down and rest.
Yep.
So what you talk about, which I love, is what to eat best in the morning to get yourself going, and then when to stop eating
Right.
overall. And it sounds
Yes.
like the cleaner that food is. When I was in the military, I worked a lot of times it was 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Mm.
and 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I worked on the flight line, and so the time window for food, and at my age, it was just like whatever you can get, you can get. And then after 9/11, I was working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And so my breakfast was dinner, my dinner was breakfast, and everything flipped, and
Wow.
everything was quick. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
back in my day, it was like, you know what, you really should get more vitamins. It was just like, get your food. They'll give you a sheet of what you should be eating. But I lived that lifestyle for a very, very long time, and it was a little bit hard to get out of. But there was so much inflammation in my body that complicated other medical things I was going through with my spine and everything. And the
Mm-hmm.
doctors were like, "I think you got a lot of inflammation in you," and I was like, "Well, this needs to cut back." So, did I go vegan? No, I did not go vegan by any means. It's too hard for
Hmm.
me. But what I started doing was I started introducing a whole lot more plants and then a whole lot more whole
There you
produce.
go. There you
I
go.
started cutting my portions down with meat. And then I started looking at like I don't understand why there's 20 different ingredients in its meat. Why is it not just something that's like you went out into the grass, it ate, it died, you ate it. So now my meat that I started eating was cleaner. And I'll tell you, like I slept better.
Hmm.
I sleep better now. The inflammation in my body like gone. And so,
Wow.
I say all that to tell people is like, listen, even if you're not ready for a full on transition, any inch
Hmm.
of progress you make
Yeah.
is going to help you, and
Very true.
you'll find it. A lot of times, honestly, people need to hit the bottom before they see what they need to do at the top. But you're somebody who came from a lifestyle of eating like the typical American diet, and you figured it out the hard way and did the work and got to where you're at. So you're not just
Yeah.
coming off of a book or raised in a hippie commune. You
No.
were there. So
Yeah, I was there. I was that dude, man, and but at the same time, I grew up with parents who were actually very conscious about what they ate.
yeah,
They weren't staunch vegans or staunch vegetarians, but my father had a vegetarian period at one time, and he was really became a health nut at one time.
yeah,
And he was very inspired by switching over to more vegetables, making protein shakes. They called them
yeah,
protein shakes in the 80s,
yeah,
and my mom she was a nurse, and so she made it a point to only cook us fried chicken twice a year.
yeah, yeah,
And because
yeah,
she's like, I know what cholesterol does to our bodies, and I didn't
yeah.
even know what she was talking about. I was just a little kid. I'm like,
Right,
okay, it was just that was just the way it was. And then she wouldn't buy a sugar cereal. She never
yeah,
allowed us to go to fast food place. Well, she wouldn't bring fast food home at all.
right,
She was like, oh no, if you're gonna get that, then I'm not gonna be in the room, or it ain't gonna be in my house.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and that's just the way she was. And so and she gave us explanations about it as well. And she was just like that. And but it gave me a sense of like boundaries. And
mm-hmm,
also my father he was into the holistic arts. Like, he was a masseuse, certified masseuse. He was a transcendental meditator, but he was also he loved working out in the gym.
mm-hmm,
Took me and my brother around with him to the gym all the time as a little kid growing up.
mm-hmm.
um but he was also a binge alcoholic,
Ooh, yeah,
and so that was a practice.
yeah. That'll mess your
And that
sleep up
was,
too.
oh man, and
Yeah,
but the thing is it also made me think about, like, you know, like, wow, my self-care is not only about me, but it's about my children, it's about my
Yes.
community, because his self-care was a big part of my worry, you know, and I
Right.
wanted to make sure my father was okay, because it would affect whether or not we'd see him on the weekends and the
Mm.
quality of our time. And we never saw a binge coming. So I think this is one of the reasons why I even got so deep off into self care and helping people develop their self care regimen, because I
Right.
realized your sleep, your self care is not just about you, it's about everybody
It's about
that you
everybody.
deal with in your life,
Yeah.
bro. It's like, it's so
Yeah.
important, man. So
And if you're
important.
and if you're responsible, and I just had this conversation with a client, and it was her sleep was definitely an issue, but it was all the things that she was doing and was responsible for up to the time where she wanted to go to sleep, where she wasn't taking care of herself. And what I told her was the reason why you are who you are to everyone else is because of you, not necessarily your role, but who you are, because you don't mind doing the things that you do for the people you take care of. I said, but if you aren't taking care of yourself, then they're not getting
Mm,
you. They're getting
yeah,
a shell of you. And
there you
if they're
go.
getting a shell of you, then you're getting even less than that. So,
Oh, oh
you
man.
know, investing the time in
Yeah.
yourself to do the things, and people ask, well, how much sleep should I be getting? I'm like, to me, what matters is if you're going to bed, you're gliding into bed, and you're waking up refreshed, and it didn't take a shot of anything, and you didn't need to hit snooze 20 times, and you woke up refreshed, it's like, that's great. If that's what you're getting in 5 hours, great. If you're getting it in seven, great. If you're getting it in four and a half, a little scary, but great. But work on that first, getting yourself to where by the time you get to bed, like you're ready for bed. You're not wondering if you're going to sleep. You're not even thinking about sleep. You're just like, well, this is the time it's going to start. Nutrition
Mm,
played a big piece of that because she was eating on the run, which I did that for years, instead of like
yeah.
sitting down, digesting your food,
Yeah.
finishing it at a
Yeah.
certain hour, like you said, like that was a big piece of that. So it was just kind of retraining yourself.
I really love that approach, man.
Hmm.
Like the quality of sleep. A
Yeah.
lot of us focus on quantity, but it's really about
Yeah.
quality, because you can be tossing and turning for 8 hours. But if you are completely knocked out cold in a delta state of like you're
Yes.
in a whole nother planet of the edge of the galaxy for like 5 hours, and you come out like,
Wow.
oh,
Yeah. That's
it's like
great.
that was the sleep you needed. Your
That was it
body
right there.
recovered,
Yeah.
everything absorbed, and all of the
Yeah.
antioxidants absorbed in
Yep.
your body. Yet that sleep supported everything, and you can get up and go. Like,
People can do it in 5 hours if I mean,
yeah,
but trying to aim for that number, checking your Fitbit or whatever it is, tracking, it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's like that to me just makes it
yeah,
worse. Um, so I wanted to go through the some of the vitamins and nutrients that
yeah.
I know help with sleep, and I wanted to get words from you as to what are some really good sources for these,
Okay,
and the best times to have them, serving sizes from the whole food perspective.
okay. One of the best uh things I would say, to me, one of the best herbs to have, I would say maybe an hour or 2 hours before you go to sleep, would be valerian root.
Okay.
And I like to get my roots or my herbs in a loose leaf way, like going
Yeah.
to an actual herb vault, getting about an ounce or two, and
Yes.
then you can boil about, I would say, a quarter of a tea, maybe I would say maybe a half a tablespoon
Right.
per cup. Just boil the valerian root for about maybe 15 minutes. You want to put it on simmer, let it like like medium simmer, and then simmer it for about a good 15 minutes. You can sip on that. It doesn't smell the best, but it does its job, right?
Yeah.
Or
Relaxes
what you
that
could,
nerve system.
oh man, it does
Yeah.
totally relax you, man. You feel
Yeah.
it. And it's natural. It's not gonna,
Right.
inflame your body. It's a natural herb. And then you can do cacao.
Yeah.
Cacao has so much magnesium in it, amongst other minerals.
I've
It's
fallen in
one of
love
the,
with dark chocolate. I love
oh
it. Yeah.
man, oh
I have to cut
man.
myself off at a certain hour and eat certain amount because if I eat
Yeah,
way too
yeah.
strong, It's got caffeine
Yeah.
in it. I'm all wired, but like, man, I love me
Yeah.
some dark chocolate now.
Yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
you get the cacao, which is just, that raw form, you're going to get a good quality dose of that magnesium, which is going to support your heart. It's going to support everything, but it's going to also relax your muscles.
Yes. Yes, it
And
does.
this is done, I would say, the same as the valerian root, or maybe 2 hours before you go to bed. So that way, when you're
Right.
brushing your teeth before bed, you just are ready
You're
to
ready.
just conk out.
Yep.
In general, I would say focusing on herbs that support the healing of the nervous system. Guta cola, Gutakola, that is great for the nervous system. Licorice root is good for the nervous system, and also skull's cap is good for the nervous system.
After the break, we'll spill the tea on why you might be drinking your chamomile all wrong.
Hi, this is Jen,
And I am Mira.
and we are Creative Copes Podcast.
Yep, we're just two friends who decided we had something to share with the world, and at the same time, try to end the stigma and raise awareness about how it is to live with chronic.
And mental illness. We are here to share our ways of creatively coping, trying to break free from the minefield of survival mode and to start living fully.
We already have some creative coping strategies in our arsenal.
But on this journey, we will discover many more ways for us all, audience included, to deal with the struggles that come with dynamic and invisible disabilities, whether they be physical or mental.
We hope to bring some fun moments and open conversations. Please join us.
Love and light.
Beautiful humans. Okay, bye.
Mwah.
Something you said about the loose leaf with your supplements. So full disclosure, I tell people all the time, I was like, listen, because they ask like, what do you think about supplements? And I say, this is what I think about supplements. They're not, when you get them in pill form, they're not FDA approved, which is fine. There's a lot of things we take that are not, and you'll live just fine. But the thing is, because of that, you don't have an overall organization that can say this is going to do exactly what it's going to do, what it says it's going to do, and this is exactly what's in it. So you have to rely on other certified third party organizations to
Mhm.
say this was made cleanly. It doesn't say, they won't tell you this is exactly what's in it, this is exactly how much, and it is exactly, it says this is made as clean as possible per what we can say. So if you trust those supplements, you can try them. The valerian root pills or whatever from whatever company, but there's no real guarantee that how much is in there or what it's been mixed with is what it is. However, if you're getting it the way you recommend, like you're getting actual loose leaf,
Right.
of these, if you're getting an actual straight cacao,
Yeah.
you will have a better shot at getting exactly what it is and getting it the way you're
Absolutely.
supposed to have it, the way your body,
Absolutely.
because it is they're from the earth too. They're
Right.
just like the
I
cow,
just focus
just
on,
like but these are just different
yeah,
roots, and they do things
yeah.
for your nervous system, regulating that GABA, which is supposed to help keep, help your body system slow down. So if
Hmm.
your sleep is impacted because you're wired at night, for those folks who are like, I can't sleep and I don't know why, or I try to go to sleep and I want to go to sleep but I'm wired. More of this will help you when you can get it straight from the source, when you get it straight
Absolutely.
valerian root, and not necessarily, and I'm not saying every supplement pill out there is bad.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that at all. I
Mhm.
got friends that do it, and their stuff is great. But the closer you can
Mhm.
get to the actual source of it
Source.
all,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go. Actual sources is definitely always the best, but I would say one of the reasons why I always get loose leaf herbs as opposed to using tea bags, because for one, tea bags are bleached,
Hmm.
and for two, most of the flower of the herb is actually in dust form
Hmm.
in a tea bag. It doesn't have a lot of the essential oils that are present in herbs, which is where most of the medicine is. And so you're just getting a quality brew when you get when you boil your own loose
Loose
leaf
leaf tea.
herbs.
Okay.
Right. You get all the medicine. And also, I am a firm believer in valerian root and cacao because I've tried it. I have used it. I don't use it every single day, but I use it, and it really relaxes you. If you I mean, it just does what it does, and it's also healing. They have healing compounds in there, minerals and vitamins and phytonutrients, and
Right.
also in all of that stuff, because it's herbs, and so it's going to support your gut health as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just really cool to get into some herbs. You don't have to be an herbalist to get into herbs. You can just know which, you can look it up, do a little bit of your own research.
Find a place
What are
that
some
has
good?
the actual leaves and go from
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of places out there, man. A lot of health food stores that'll support you, and they'll recommend everything that they know. They have a lot of knowledge out there, man. So you don't have to, take a chance in the dark. People know a lot of stuff about herbs, and then you can do your own Googling to it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a good what do you like that is a good source for like B vitamins? Because B vitamins are great for cell strength and regulation. I
Mm,
mean, that's what's moving everything out when it's time to get that immune
yeah.
system is building up in your gut when you're getting the iron is getting delivered to your body. You need strong
Yeah.
cells for that. So what are some good B vitamin
I would
sources?
say B vitamins. You can get B vitamins in leafy greens. You can also get vitamin B12 is also in nutritional yeast as well.
Okay.
I like to use that.
So like the foods that are high in protein, like that's what's
Mhm.
helping most of where you're going to get the tryptophan amino acids. Uh,
Yes.
when they mix with the melatonin, you get all the good things. So,
Avocado, avocado, avocado. You can get some avocados. They have a lot of tryptophan.
okay.
Yes, chia seeds, they're a complete protein, but they have tryptophan in them as well. Quinoa is also a complete protein as well. You can get that as a source of tryptophan
Yeah.
too. And
Good.
you cannot go wrong with avocados and chia seeds in your smoothies and
Yeah.
in your salads. You can make the chia seed pudding with the just, shaking some water up
Right.
in with them and letting them soak up and get all those omega 3s to come out and make that
Yeah.
little gelatin.
Yeah.
Great, great, you
And
know.
I love smoothies because I mean some people they're not gonna like I'm not eating no chia seed. It's like well you don't really have to if you put it in a smoothie.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
get it that way, get it that way. I'll eat guacamole before I eat enough slices of avocado. That was
Oh man, the
yeah.
guacamole is
Guacamole's
amazing.
so good though,
That's a
man.
great way to eat avocado. I
Yeah,
like them. I like them. I like it. I like it plain, and I like it like that as well. Like the
yeah,
guacamole. I love making guacamole. I love
yeah.
it.
So
Hmm.
there's different ways to incorporate these foods and herbs and natural supplements that you spoke about that will
Yes.
help support you in your sleep. And it's not like you have to consume all these right at 8 o'clock. You can work them in all
Right.
day long.
You
And
can work them in, man.
work
You
them
can
in.
work them in. Absolutely. And then I also encourage too taking a daily multivitamin. They have it's a lot of good stuff, and just a regular vegan multivitamin that has your B's, that has
Yeah,
your the whole nine, just
yeah,
to supplement. You don't have to do it every day,
right,
but getting a multivitamin is good, especially if you can't always get organic, because organic is going to have the majority of the vitamins and the minerals in the food, right? If it's not organically grown, if it's conventional, it's going to be lacking some of the regular amount of vitamins and minerals. So I just
yeah,
encourage people,
yeah,
have a multivitamin on hand once in a while to
yeah,
support your nutrition
yeah.
practice.
And if you feel like you're going to take them every day, check with your doctor, because if you have too much of one of the things, like you got enough zinc going on and you take a multivitamin, it's got like 20 times more of that, then it'll wreck you. But if you're taking it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
once in a while and you're like, I think I want to take more of these, definitely check with your physician to make sure that your blood is ready for all that. But I do also encourage that, there's days where like I like to go out in the sun to get my vitamin D, but some days it's just too cloudy for that, but if I can
Right.
get a multivitamin that's got some vitamin D in it, then that's going to help me out too. So the last thing I want to talk to you about, because you've mentioned it, was gut health.
Yes.
And I know that is a place that you have a lot of knowledge and expertise on. I'm just learning like the last 5 years of how much your immune system is relies on your gut health. And we had a conversation earlier talking about our recovery from COVID and how we were getting through the COVID periods. And so I started thinking, I was like, you know what? There's no saying that something like that may not come along in the future, and maybe we're a little better prepared. But I also feel like the better your immune system is, and learning more about that is really what's going to
Absolutely.
help you, because some things you're just going to come in contact with whether you want to or not, but is your body
Yeah.
ready for it? And so I want to
Right.
talk a little bit about nutrition and supporting that gut health for that immune system.
Yeah. Gut health is vital because 80% of our immune system is in our gut. And when your gut microbiome is not diversified, right? When it's negatively diversified by like the standard American diet, that can affect your mood because you're not producing the quality serotonin that you need. Serotonin, 95% of the serotonin created in your body is created in your gut when
Right.
it comes to your gut microbiome communicating to the gut cells, right?
Right. Right.
Right. And so when you establish good gut health, you not only um, support your immune system, but you also are able to activate your genes to express in a higher level,
Okay.
right? So this
Right.
is what they call epigenetics.
Okay.
And gut health directly affects your genetic expression. It doesn't change your DNA now, but it changes the level of expression. Like they can express on a higher level, right? You will begin to express anti-cancerous genes. You'll begin
Okay.
to express genes that might help you develop more concentration
Right.
because all of a sudden you're eating food like plants that are in alignment with your body's
Right.
homeostasis. And anytime you are supporting your body's homeostasis, that's going to level up your gene expression.
Right.
When the food you take in is supporting your homeostasis, is supporting your gut diversification, then the genetic communication you have between the microbes, because all the microbes are assigned to your genetic material, right?
Hmm.
Microbes are much smaller than cells, right? They're
Okay.
much smaller. So they get in there and they start communicating to your genes, right? This is completely scientifically based, scientifically proven. So this makes us not a prisoner of our genes. Just because diabetes and all of this stuff might run in your family does not necessarily mean you're going to get it.
I
It could
see.
be in your genes, but it will only be expressed if you use the same if you practice the same kind of habits that your family's practicing. If you
Right.
change the habits, which is changing the environment that these genes express in, then all of a sudden
Right.
you create a completely different paradigm of genetic expression in your body. And
Okay.
so this is one of the best things about gut health. And gut health is most affected by having a whole food, plant-based diet and
Right.
lifestyle. You can even cure um, allergies when you go whole food plant-based, which is actually changing the way your genes express when it comes to dealing with certain types of foods. I was being interviewed by somebody last week who cured 27 allergies in 1 year because she
Wow.
went plant-based.
Wow.
And that was because her
Wow.
genes were expressing differently.
Yeah. This,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. It's like lifting a cloud off. Like if your family
Yeah.
has a history of diabetes, your family also has a history of eating a whole lot of white refined sugar all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's suppressing the genes. That's helping express
Absolutely.
the genes that are going to promote the diabetes.
Yep.
But if you're changing your gut health and you're eating cleaner, you're eating more plants and all these things, and your genes are strong because they've got things that are like, we know there's diabetes stuff trying to come up in here, but we
Hmm.
know how to fight it, and you're lifting that cloud, then you
Yep.
have a better chance of fighting something like that. So
Absolutely.
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely. And it's just
Yeah,
science. I mean,
yeah,
they have done so many studies. You can get your gut health checked easily. And you can, after you start having all of these amazing, things happen, you can go whole food plant-based for say 90 days. Check your gut health before you go on that whole
right,
food plant-based diet, and then go back and check, and then they'll be like, what has just happened to
yeah,
you?
yeah,
It'll be like overnight.
yeah.
Like it is,
There's no
plants
symptoms
work
to change.
fast,
They do.
bro. Plants
Yeah,
work fast, and gut health is the most immediate thing that's affected. And I'm willing to bet, based off of your experience, as soon as you begin to bring those plants in your life and the inflammation went down, I bet you your mood and your vision of yourself, and you said, man, I need to have a podcast.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
things started to
yeah.
change.
Things
Like
start
you
to
started to
change.
want to, like,
You want to
relate
do
to life differently. You just
right,
completely changed because
right.
you start increasing that quality serotonin. You start to, your creativity, things happen. It's magical. It's really
It
magical,
is,
man.
and it's
Yeah.
and again, it happened for me, and I'm not like a pure vegan, whatever. My motivation is a little bit like yours, where like I want the people around me to not have to take care of me. That is my motivation for doing as much as I can for my sleep, for my eating, for stretching, all these things. And it's not aiming for perfection, but definitely aiming for improvement. And so I've met some people like that, they were in the military the same as I was, and we did all the same things. Now this is 10 years later, and they're hurting. They're in pain because the lifestyle that we lived was hard, and it's not the easiest thing to break out of. And then I've met some people who are the healthiest they've ever been because they got out, and when they retired, when they got out, they made their changes, and it's helped them out. And that's me. It's like, I don't, you know what, I want to be way older before somebody has to take care of me because I didn't choose to eat better, than other folks, or because I did these things. And so if I can do that, if people out there can do that, and if you're not even motivated for yourself, but you're motivated for those people around you that you care about, then
Hmm.
if you don't have to be a burden or anything, because they love you, they're going to help you whether you want them to or not, you
Hmm.
know. But if you can
Hmm.
ease that by just, making the right changes for your diet to support your sleep and support your immune system, which is building up in those deep stages, then
Absolutely.
listening to Toussaint and reading what he has to say about everything to include gut health and great whole foods is going to help you. Tell me the best ways to
Absolutely.
find you right now.
Right now, the best way to find me is on the gram. Go to I am dot Touissant Stewart, TOUSSAINT STEWART. I am dot Touissant Stewart. You'll see the link in the bio is my link tree. Click on that. You'll see the link tree to all of my wellness offerings. You'll see my back to whole coaching program, my plant-based one-on-one raise your vibration coaching program, a link to get my book, a button to get my book, which is plant-based one-on-one, whole food, whole you. It's a 74-page ebook. Also, it's an audio book as well. And it's like a 74-page whole food plant-based manifesto with
Awesome.
recipes, recipe templates. There's also a button for a free holistic health and wellness call.
Nice.
I do free holistic health and wellness calls. If you have issues on anything,
Right.
bam, you can set up a Zoom link with me, a Zoom meeting with me for 30 minutes for free. I ask you what's working, what's not working. And then I also do a free holistic health and wellness container called Intentional Friday. Every Friday from 12 to 12:30, But yeah,
So good.
it's amazing. And I also have a brand new meditation class coming this
Nice.
Friday. It's called Source Meditation. And we teach you how to tap your source in all places and all spaces through breath work, through um, embodiment meditation, through nervous system regulation. And we incorporate all of this into an integrated meditative experience for 1 hour every Friday. You can check that out on there as well. So
Nice.
go to Touissant Stewart and get all of that. I would love to serve you in my free containers and just check me out.
Thanks again to Touissant Stewart for this talk. Eating whole foods, clean produce, and loose leaf teas are a sure way to get the right vitamins and nutrients to help you get the sleep you deserve. If you want to get more information on whole foods, relaxation, and nervous system regulation, I posted his link in the show notes. Thanks again for listening to this episode of The Why Behind Your Z's. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Why Behind Your Z's. For more information and additional advice on how to help you get the sleep that you deserve, check the show notes for our email subscriber list. You can also visit our website, sleepyoudeserve.com.